So today we'll be doing the comparison between the iPhone 16 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now these devices I have been extensively using in the past, and I would like to just give my verdict on these both devices. Obviously, like, these both devices are pretty much different than each other, and nevertheless, like, both devices have their own pros and own cons. Both devices are pretty much nice. I would just say you'll just get best out of these both devices. Like, these are best of the best devices you can get from the Apple and from the Samsung itself. The S25 Ultra has the best camera system you can get on the Samsung phones. On the iPhone 16 Pro you can get the bestest camera setup also by the Apple. Now on the Apple side, you're just using over here as the Apple proprietary software iOS, and on the S25 Ultra you're just using the Android 15 topped up with the One UI 7. And the One UI 7, like, you can I can vouch on that. Like, because S25 Ultra I've been using as my primary device, and this one is like one of the bestest experience you can get out of the Android phone. I think there's no phone that could just beat the user experience of the One UI 7. It's so much enhanced. The artificial intelligence, it's so much well equipped in this phone. Like, obviously it's way ahead of the Apple, like, once we compare to this one. Camera systems, obviously, like, both have their own advantages. Both are pretty much nice. You won't regret like any of these camera system by getting any of these phones. So if we talk about the design of these phones, so this is pretty much different approach that both of these Apple and Samsung went with. So on the S25 Ultra side, you can see you're just getting much more flatter design. You can see from the sides, like, there's like a flat edges on the and slightly curved from the back. On the iPhone you're just getting seamless design. You have the curve at the from the side over here, and you have the curve flushing down into the screen itself. It's pretty much nice. I would just like to mention, like, iPhone feels pretty much well to hold in the hands because of that additional rounded corners that you get out of the iPhone 16 Pro. But one thing you will just notice, the iPhone 16 Pro is much more easier to hold in the hand, because, like, if you have like a small hand, so I would just recommend the iPhone 16 Pro, not the 16 Pro Max, because 16 Pro Max would be much more bigger. On the over here, like on the S25 Ultra, it's also a very bigger device. It's much more direct competitor to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. But spec wise, these devices both are pretty much similar when we compare to the iPhone 16 Pro Max with the 16 Pro. So I had the 16 Pro, so I just thought to compare and make a comparison on this one. So if we come on to the left side, so they have like pretty much different approach. I would just say Apple just went with the power button over here, and then there's a new camera action, or you can say action button or camera button. And on the right, on the S25 Ultra, you're just getting the volume up and down, and you get this power button. On the top you get to see nothing on the iPhone 16 Pro, and on the S25 Ultra you can just expect this noise cancelling speaker. Once we talk about the left side of these both phones, so the Samsung have absolutely clean design from the left side, and on the iPhone 16 Pro there's a lot going on. There's one more action button over here, there's volume up and down, and there's SIM card tray. Once we come to the bottom of these both phones, so obviously the Samsung, there's a lot of things going on the bottom of the phone. On the iPhone 16 Pro you just get the mic, you get the Type-C charging port and a speaker. Now the Apple have used the studio speakers this time, which are just okay. I mean, obviously those are nice, but using them, like, it's just I don't like that much kind of experience with those studio speakers, the way the Apple have hyped these ones. And those perform like just okay. Like, I don't use that much. Maybe if you're the person that use so much of those studio speakers, maybe if you're the person who's just using so much of those studio mics, so you would just let me know. But yeah, I've used these ones. The experience was just fine. It's just not that make you a wow factor, I would just say. On the S25 Ultra you get the SIM card tray, you get the mic over here. So now this time the Samsung has used nice approach. Before, the mic was on the just besides the SIM card tray ejection tool, where like you place a hole, and sometimes many of the people like me just poke the speaker itself and you might just damage the speaker. Now here you have a clearly differentiated mic over here, so you might just not make the mistake, and it's a little bit more foolproof. We get the Type-C charging port, we get the speaker, and we get the S Pen over here, which is like a bonus, I would just say. I know like this time Samsung has reduced the compatibility, and there's no Bluetooth feature in the S Pen. Does make many of the people just go mad by just not having the Bluetooth feature, but honestly, like I personally, like I've never used, and Samsung has made its own research like that only 1% of the people use the Bluetooth feature while taking the picture out of the phone itself via S Pen. Now if you're the person who just make a lot of use out of it, so obviously you might be affected by that one, but obviously like I don't use that much of the S Pen Bluetooth feature, let alone the S Pen. Like I don't use a lot of the S Pen, so it doesn't make so much of a difference. On the Apple side, you get to see the 6.3 inches of screen. Here you get to see the 6.9 inches of screen on the S25 Ultra. You get the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, and over here you get the Apple A18 Pro chip. Now both phones obviously are like flagship phones. Both does get hot a little bit while you're just playing extensive games on these both phones. I've used these phones, but it doesn't get hot to a point where there's just start thermal throttling. So I've never noticed a thermal throttling on these both phones. Like I've played extensively games and heavy games like Wuthering Waves, high FPS games like Blood Strike, easier games Subway Surf, and you can see a couple of games over here which I've played like, and I never faced like whatever you throw on these phones, they just outperform. Like I never had an issue regarding thermal throttling, so you wouldn't be wrong. Obviously if you just logged into the Apple ecosystem, so Apple would be the better choice. Cameras are excellent on these both phones. The speakers are best on these both phones. I like a little bit on the speakers on the S25 Ultra. They are a little bit louder, and on the iPhone you just get a little bit more depth, but on the S25 Ultra it's a very well balanced speaker system that Samsung has used this time. I really like the speaker system on the S25 Ultra. So we can test out the speakers on these both phones. I'll just make the volume go at max, and we'll see which one performs better, and you would have an experience on these both phones. So starting with the Apple. Samsung now.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's.
Samsung.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.
So you can just notice like the Samsung is a lot louder than what you get to see on the iPhone 16 Pro. I mean, not louder, but you can say like it's kind of a different kind of feel you get from the Samsung speaker. Both are excellent, I would just say. You won't go wrong. I like a little bit more of the Samsung speaker. That's obviously louder, and you get a very well balanced. On the iPhone 16 Pro you feel like you are just listening on a real speaker. You get that depth, and maybe like if you're in a calm setting, so you'll just enjoy more of the iPhone speaker. However, on the S25 Ultra, if you're just maybe listening to something in a louder environment, so this speaker will surely going to just outperform the what you get to see on the Apple speaker itself. But nevertheless, like both are excellent speakers. There's nothing to complain about it. Both uses different kind of now security mechanism. On the iPhone 16 Pro you get to see the Apple proprietary Face ID recognition system, very seamless. Now obviously there are the drawbacks of this system as well, like you have to just look into the screen itself to just unlock the phone. So if your phone is just lying down on a flat surface or on the side of the table, so you have to just make it up to just and bring it towards your face to just make the system work. If you're just wearing the mask, so obviously this doesn't perform as much good, I would just say. However, the Apple have just introduced the with the mask, even the face recognition system works, but like I find a little bit finicky, kind of like it doesn't work all of the time. The benefit of the Face ID, like obviously for the people who are just using the screen protectors, would be much more better, because you can use the screen protectors without affecting the security of the phone or how you log into the phone itself. On the S25 Ultra, you just get to see the fingerprint scanner under display, which is ultrasonic. But the problem that once I use the screen protectors with my phone, so once you just try to unlock, so with the screen protector on, so especially the tempered glass one, so the unlocking systems becomes a little bit more finicky. And I would just recommend using the screen protector with the Samsung, because I've seen a lot of news regarding the oleophobic coating just vanishing from the phone itself by using that one. And obviously it's very hard to just get the OEM oleophobic coating on the phone itself. But the problem is that if you don't use a screen protector, so you might be prone to scratches as well. Like the people have also noticed at the end of the cycle of the S24 Ultra, there has been a lot of micro scratches, so that might just affect the value of your phone itself. So yeah, so those are obviously the drawbacks. However, the benefit of the S25 Ultra screen is the anti-reflective coating. But yeah, if you're just using the screen protector, so that anti-reflective coating will be just gone. Like as you can see in my phone, there's a lot of reflections. So yeah, Samsung should work out on that one. Like the oleophobic coating should be a little bit better. I mean, obviously those are always prone to just vanishing away over time using the phone itself. But you can get like a screen protectors which are like anti-reflective. You can use the Samsung anti-reflective coated screen protector. Now on the iPhone 16 Pro, there's one more disadvantage of the Face ID recognition system. Like once you're just lying down and your face is just into the pillow, so obviously the Face ID recognition system doesn't work in that case. Like you have to lift your face and you have to just start using the face. I mean, every phone have like disadvantages and advantages. Like both obviously are the best of the best you can get out in the market right now. This time Samsung has went with the design language, where you can see there's a little bit more curve, because of a lot of complaints like from the sides. The S25 4 Ultra was used to dig into the hands itself, so this is slightly comfortable to holding phone itself once we compare to the previous generation, which was the S24 Ultra. But honestly, like I like the S24 Ultra design to be much more premium. The rings on the back on the iPhone 16, now the rings on the back on the S25 Ultra, you can see these are just the ring itself. Like the jerry rig have done the removal of this one, and these are being just stick to the back of the phone itself, like over the original lenses. But the best thing about these ones are like obviously these are easy to replace, which if you get a scratch that one. But yeah, I never scratch my screen, but yeah, I never scratch these lenses on the phone itself. On the iPhone 16 Pro, you get very similar design language you can get since the iPhone 11 Pro, and that has been like followed throughout the up till now, that design factor. Obviously the build quality of these both phones are very much premium. Both are made out of the titanium structure on these both phones, so if you just make these phones drop, so these are less susceptible to the damage, or you might not likely break the screen of these both phones. But I always recommend to use the case itself with the phones itself, so they can just retain the value of the phone itself, because these are very expensive devices. I would just say, like obviously you're just getting, maybe most of the people just get the device every 2 years. Some of the people who get the devices like every year, they want to keep best of the best, they want to remain upgraded always. But even if you want to just are you the person who just upgrades the phones every year, so it's obviously better to just protect your device with the case and the screen protector, so you can just get better trade-in value out of these both phones. Obviously there's a lot to talk about these both phones. The screens on these both phones are excellent, I would just say. if you're not using the screen protector on the S25 Ultra, so you'll be just getting obviously a better enhanced experience, and your screen will look much more better than the iPhone 16 Pro. But in this case, like, I'm using the screen protector on these both phones, and these perform pretty much exactly the same. Anti-reflective coating on the S25 Ultra just shines out of once you just compare it side by side with the Apple iPhone 16 Pros, and the colors looks much more deeper. The black looks much more deeper. There's no reflection out of there. And very minimal reflection you just get, which is next to none. And once you just go into the direct sunlight, you just notice like the S25 Ultra display looks much more better. I really appreciate this technology that Samsung has introduced from the beginning of the S24 Ultra, you can say from the launch of the S24 Ultra. But nevertheless, like, both screens are excellent. I would just say, let's talk about the now a little bit of the speed test on these phones. Like, so speed test, obviously these devices are both best of the best. We just see like if there's any apps open, no, and like both of these devices are connected to the same network. We just go ahead and just run a brief speed test with day-to-day using apps, and we just go ahead and just start with the Pinterest, and we see which one performs faster. So I believe the S25 Ultra was the faster one. Then we open the InShot. S25 Ultra feels like instant, and now we just open the Play Store over here. Wow, S25 Ultra, like, it feels like instant, like the app is already being open. It feels like the same. Now we just open the calendar on these both phones. Again, faster on the S25 Ultra, but very kind of a negligible kind of difference. Then we try the YouTube, faster on the S25 Ultra, and then we just try to run the speed test, faster on the iPhone 16 Pro. We just go ahead and just launch the test, and we see which one performs faster. Obviously this also depends on the internet speed that you're getting on these both phones, but in a natural condition I would just want to see like which one performs better. So S25 Ultra did completed the test first, following by obviously iPhone 16 Pro is still doing the test. And yeah, so yeah, S25 Ultra was the first one to do it. Then we just use the calculator. Okay, faster on the S25 Ultra. Now we just open the light cut. So faster on the iPhone 16 Pro. Now these were kind of the apps. I would just say, like, obviously you're just seeing like there are some apps which do get open faster on the S25 Ultra and some on the iPhone 16 Pro, but it's not kind of a factor where you just feel like you're just lagging behind so much by getting either of these devices. Like, these both are excellent devices. The gaming experience has been so much optimized. One thing I would like to mention on the iPhone 16 Pro is regarding this camera Face ID island. Like, I really don't like this one. Like, once you're just playing games, so it's so much comes into the way. Like, you just notice that one rather than this small punch hole camera on the S25 Ultra. And one more thing, like this Face ID island feels much more bigger on the iPhone 16 Pro rather than the Pro Max version. Reason being that the iPhone 16 Pro is a smaller screen, and this big Face ID island comes all the way into the whatever you're just doing. You're just playing game, and you cannot just let it go while you're just playing the games itself. Like, you cannot just let it go while you're just playing the games on the phone itself, or if you're just consuming the multimedia. This shows up and you'll just notice that one all the time as you're just interacting with the phone itself. However, on the S25 Ultra, once you're just playing the game, you totally forget that even that exists. This is a very small punch hole camera, and I like this approach to be much more better. I'm not sure if Apple could just, even if you see just the camera bump, the camera hole, so it's so much bigger than what you get to see on the S25 Ultra. So I think there is one more thing like I would like to mention, like Apple could just make this Face ID system to be under display, and the camera could just remain as a punch hole. But obviously, like, the camera on the side would just be kind of annoying. Apple have to just work out to make the camera to be centered and to move the Face ID onto the left. Yeah, so Apple need to work on to that one. I really don't like this system. Regarding the AI system over here, obviously S25 Ultra is way ahead than what the Apple is doing right now. Obviously, Apple was launched the iPhone 16 Pro on the basis of the AI system. Like, the AI was a new thing while launching the iPhone 16 Pro, but it's still, the AI is not there yet for the Apple itself. I noticed like the Samsung is so much refined in terms of the AI, especially the object eraser, like it works like flawlessly on the S25 Ultra. I've been using these both phones since couple of months since their launch. iPhone 16 Pro being way more with me since and the S25 Ultra came out to be later, and I noticed like the iPhone 16 Pro is not there yet. It's all upon the person, like which OS you prefer. But honestly, as a device as a whole, like if I say like a well-rounded device, or like one of the best devices that you can get right now, I would just give points that one to the Samsung itself. Like, it's a very, very well balanced phone. I've been using this one. The battery life has been great on this one. The screen, the speakers, Samsung has just came way ahead. Like the One UI 7 is so much refined. I can again vouch on that one. Like, it's a great experience. We just go ahead and just play some games on these both phones, and we just start with some graphic intensive games. Maybe we just play the high FPS games like Blood Strike. I've been testing out this game since a long time, and we'll see like how this one performs. Now the screen edges, obviously the iPhone 16 Pro, I feel like Apple have reduced edges slightly better than what the Samsung has done, but yeah, and holdability of this device is pretty much nice, I would just say. We just go ahead and just
satellite scan in progress.
Now you can see like this big island is coming so much in the way while you're just playing the game that you can just notice. You cannot let this one island go. I'm not a pro gamer, but yeah, it's pretty much fun to play games on this one. While one more thing, like because I have a small hand, so the iPhone 16 Pro feels much more nicer to hold in the hands. While because of these rounded corners, it feels much more better to hold in the hands. The iPhone while you're just playing the game. The speaker placement has been nice on this one. Like it's over here, so it doesn't block the speaker. But I'll show you on the S25 Ultra, like the speaker gets blocked while you're just playing the game.
Medic needed. Head to the target. Medic needed. Enemies nearby.
Satellite scan in progress.
I'm down. Roger.
Using a bandage.
Defensive turret activated. Enemy spotted to the target. Enemy spotted.
Enemy hit.
The gameplay is pretty much amazing on these phones. Like you will just get best of the best.
The safe zone has been redefined.
Enemy spotted.
Using a bandage.
Hang in there.
Using a bandage. Wicked sick! Using a bandage. The safe zone has been redefined. Loadout airdrop Using incoming.
Enemy spotted! Defensive turret activated.
Satellite scan in progress. The safe zone is spotted. Enemy squad wiped out.
Enemy spotted! Using a bandage.
The safe zone has been redefined. The safe zone is shifting.
Fire! Enemy spotted!
Medic needed.
Target eliminated. Enemy spotted!
Medic needed. Medic needed.
Enemy spotted!
The safe zone has been redefined.
Hang in there!
Using a bandage. The safe zone is shifting.
Alright, so gameplay has been pretty much nice on this one. The iPhone is pretty much nice to hold in the hand itself. One thing I would like to mention, like the device gets heated up a little bit because you're just playing so much of high FPS games on this one. I can feel overall the device from the sides, from each angle, it's getting hot, but it's not to a point where you just feel like it's gets annoying. There's no sort of thermal throttling on this phone itself. You can see, like I've been playing this game on this one since a while, and it holds up pretty much well. Now it's time to just check the gaming experience on the S25 Ultra, and we just launched the game on this one. and we see how this one performs. So you can feel right away, I can tell, like while holding the device, like it's a bigger device, and obviously but it's a lighter one. So now we just play the same game on the S25 Ultra. Let's keep this one aside. Now you can see like the punch hole camera on the S25 Ultra feels much more nicer. Now you can see like the speaker gets blocked from the side. It's I like the positioning of the iPhone 16 Pro, like you get the speaker on this side rather than on this side, because once you're just playing the games, speaker gets blocked up pretty much easily on S25 Ultra.
The safe zone has been redefined. Victory is ours. Yes.
bandage.
Wiped out. Pathetic. The safe zone has been redefined.
It's the same case, like the device gets hot from all of the sides, but it's almost similar to what the iPhone 16 Pro get to see in terms of the warm, like how warm the iPhone 16 Pro gets. But again, there wasn't any sort of thermal throttling that I could just notice on this phone itself. So phone performed pretty much nice with regards to the gaming. These both phones are excellent with regards to the gameplay, or if you're just considering this one as a gaming device itself. I've been using these devices extensively, and one more thing I would like to mention, like which the S25 Ultra have an edge than the iPhone 16 Pro, is the ability to do the multitasking on the S25 Ultra. Like you can just open like multiple windows on this one. If you want to do the split screen, you can just open split screen. You can open like any other app over here, maybe a calculator. You can just switch this one up and down. You can just save it as a pair onto the home screen or onto the edge panel. There are further options that you can do, like if you, let's say for example, I've opened the calculator, you can just open this one in a pop-up window and you can just roam around as you want. So these are kind of the advantages that iPhone doesn't have in it. Like obviously, like if you're the person who want like simplicity, so iPhone 16 Pro might be the choice for you. But if you're just looking, because like these phones are so much expensive, that obviously everyone wants a little bit more on with the phone itself. So that additional multitasking capability on the S25 Ultra makes much more sense. Obviously the S Pen is the thing that I would like to mention on this one. You can do the screen write with this one. You can sign whatever you want to do, obviously. So this one is kind of a pretty nice addition. You get it bonus once you have the Samsung itself. So obviously it's not about the Samsung or the iPhone 16 Pro that I'm being inclined towards. It's about like how much you get from what you pay exactly. Like obviously, so both of these devices are pretty much expensive. It depends upon the preferability, like which device you prefer. If you're logged into the Apple ecosystem, so obviously you might be better off with the iPhone 16 Pro, and obviously like if you're not, so Android would be the choice if you're just used to of the device. Like I pretty much like the Android system more than the iOS. Obviously I'm not sure like how secure both of these systems are. Like obviously both are pretty much secure, but I like more of the One UI 7 on the Samsung itself. Like it's about the preferability of the phone itself. Like you get more out of this device, and on the other hand, Samsung gets like more discounts on the phone itself, like in the past we have seen. And then at the end of the life cycle, once the S27 Ultra comes, so obviously the trading values are better with the Samsung itself, like what we have noticed. Now the thing arises like whether you should upgrade to these devices. Like obviously if you have the iPhone 15 Pro or you have the S24 Ultra, so obviously my answer would be no, not to upgrade to these phones. Like these are pretty much similar phones. That's just the minor design changes you get out of these phones, and these are not kind of very revolutionary design. Like these has been followed by a couple of years, and these are being carry forward, and now it's kind of a refined experience you can get out of these devices. So there is kind of a refinement, I would just say, on these both devices. But yeah, again, if you compare these both devices, so obviously it depends upon the preferability, like which would you prefer. And yeah, so you guys can let me know like which device would you just go for. And if you guys have any questions, you can just let me know down in the comments. And please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching again. Have a good day. Bye.